Yes then YouTube, the 4-4-2, you know I love this formation. It's been an absolute bread and butter formation really for many years on FIFA. I always say it's kind of like the 4-2-3-1. It's almost like a staple of the FIFA scene, and it is always good and effective. We are on the road to glory, so let's get straight into the custom tactics of the 4-4-2. You are going to want to play balanced on the defensive style, but, and there is a but, pressure on heavy touch is now definitely 100% a viable option. Like, you can definitely, without fail, use pressure on heavy touch with most formations now, and it is a good thing. I personally, though, just like to be in control of where and when my team presses, but have the AI press for you a little bit, you know, like just have it press ever so slightly, not too much like the press after the possession loss, but ever so slightly. Definitely give the pressure on heavy touch a go. It is really OP. Your cheapest and most reliable place to buy your FIFA 23 Ultimate Team coins. Please do check out mmoexp.com. Link is down in the description below. Use the code WOLF at the checkout for 5% off your order. The defensive width then, YouTube, is actually very narrow. We are all the way down to 35. You'll have seen in my more recent videos now with Team of the Season finishing, well, finished, should I say, and the shapeshifters coming out that are very high rated cards, might I add. They are very good. A lot of them better than Team of the Season cards. I feel like you need to get your defensive solidity right, and I feel like to do that, you have to play a little more narrow and balanced than you would normally be. But that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. But if you are someone that doesn't like the more narrow approach in defending, because for example, I want in the 4-4-2, I want my left back to be close to my left centre back. I want my right back close to my right centre back. I want my left mid close to my left back. My two centre mids quite close to my two centre backs. I want it very narrow and compact, because the less gaps there are, the more likely you are to not concede a goal, right? If you just think of it like basic logic, that when you're playing someone that's hard to break down, they've got a lot of men behind the ball, very compact, very hard to break down. So because of that, I use 35 width. The defensive depth, though, YouTube, is actually a little bit down to you. So this is a little bit of your own initiative. So at this moment in time, I am really liking the 60 depth, which you might think is a little bit high, but when using a 4-4-2, for some reason, I don't really notice the high defensive line too much. Like in some formations, whether it be a 4-3-1-2 or something like that, I can notice that my defensive line is way higher than it almost should be. But when I'm using the 4-4-2, I don't really notice it, YouTube. Like, I really don't. I'm really liking this little trio that I've got on your screen right here of balanced 35 width and 60 depth. I really like it. I think it's good, and I think it's working. And most of all, I think it's meta and effective. So that's why I'm using the balanced 35 and 60. But, and there is a but, if you do find the 60 depth a little bit too high, which some of you people might, that's absolutely fine. Just lower it down to like the 55. You never know. It might work a charm for you. So balance 35, 55 if you struggle defensively. If you're like me and you want to be a little bit more aggressive, balance 35 and 60. So for example, I'm using balance 35, 60. I like it. Now the offense, YouTube, this is where, if you're on old gen, there is going to be a little bit of a difference. Okay, so on new gen, which is the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S versions of the game, and PC, by the way, PC players are new gen as well, you are going to want to use balanced and direct passing. I love it, have done all year, have done for the last 2 years really. It's never ever going to change. But, and there is a but, if you are an old gen, which is the PS4 version or the Xbox One version, or if you're on a new gen console but prefer playing the old gen version of the game, long ball and balanced is 100% actually borderline better than balanced and direct passing. Something's changed recently on old gen with direct passing, and it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. So because of that, I would stay well away from direct passing on old gen. If you are on old gen, long ball and balanced. If you're on new gen like myself most of the time though, balanced and direct passing. The offensive width on the 4-4-2, I only make it ever so slightly more narrow, so going from 50 to 45. Basically, because of the playing instructions that you will see in a minute, I want my left mid and my right mid to be a little bit closer to my two strikers. But I don't want them playing almost in that 4-2-2 zone. I do want them to hold the width a little bit. Players in the box, of course, it is going to be 7. There's no real method to that madness, YouTube. I just always think the more players you have in the box, the more likely you are to score a goal. That's really is the simple way that I look at it. More players in the box, more likely you are to score a goal. If you have a shot and your opponent's keeper parries it, it's more likely to fall at your player's feet. Do you know what I'm saying? It really is. That's the way I look at that. And the actual spreadsheet that I've got with my custom tactics on actually backs it up that when I have 7 players in the box compared to 6, I do actually score more goals. So there must be something in it. last but not least on the custom tactics, 2 corners and 2 free kicks like so. So, this is how my team is set up in the 4-4-2. Messi does play left mid, sorry, and then Saka right mid, and then Odegaard, Modric, of course, pretty obvious. 2 strikers as well, pretty obvious. Now, there is actually a bit of a change in the 4-4-2 now, YouTube, in terms of player instructions. So, there's going to be a big key change that you will see on the left and right mid. But first of all, let's get straight into the 2 strikers. Probably the most important 2 players on the pitch in the 4-4-2. Your 2 strikers are your bread and butter. They are so important. Make them good. Make them effective. But the first thing you're going to want to put on, well, all 3 things that you are going to want to put on is stay central, get in behind, and come back on defence. Now, the comeback on defence, YouTube, is actually to close that gap off between the 2 central midfielders and the 2 strikers. I don't want that gap. So, imagine the 2 strikers are here and the 2 central midfielders are here. When they're on comeback on defence, the 2 strikers come back. Makes that gap a little bit closer, which actually is an offensive move. So, I've just smacked my mic. Which actually is an offensive move rather than a defensive move. So, very important, in my opinion, that you do have that on. Now, the left and right mid. Big changes. Although there's only one change, but it's a huge change, okay? So, the first thing you're going to want to do on the left mid and the right mid is come back on defence. So, put that on straight away, okay? The next thing you're going to want to do, and this is for the left mid and the right mid as well, is stay wide. Now, this is key. So, come back on defence, stay wide, get in behind, and get into the box for a cross. So there's actually 4 instructions that I put on my left midfielder and my right midfielder. So it's very key that you do have the stay wide on. Now, the stay wide is a bit of a game changer. I've never actually used this on my left midfielder, on a right midfielder, on any formation. But, and there is a but, I've just noticed myself scoring way more goals when I've put it on. I like where the left mid and the right mid are when I've got them on stay wide. And because they're on getting behind and getting to the box for cross as well, they will, no shit, Sherlock, get into the box for cross. So they will be there for goal scoring opportunities as well. It actually blew my mind how effective that is. So definitely give it a try. Let me know in the comment section down below what you do think to that. Now, this is where you need to use a bit of your own initiative, YouTube. Okay, so I play with both my central midfielders on completely default settings apart from cover centre. So put them both on cover centre. But because they're on balanced attack, they will push forward ever so slightly up to the 2 strikers. So they won't go completely YOLO, but they will push forward ever so slightly. If you are someone that struggles defensively though, so if you are someone that, you know, you can see in a lot of goals, put the more defensive-minded midfielder on staying back one attacker. So he will play more of like a CDM. So for me, that in my road to glory, that would of course be Luka Modric. But I like having them both on balance and getting forward and scoring goals. I just prefer it, YouTube. I prefer it. Both the fullbacks, YouTube, left back and the right back, they both are on stay back one attacker. So I don't really attack with my left back and my right back at all. And then last but not least, YouTube, comes for crosses and sweeper keeper on the goalkeeper. And that right there is my updated 4-4-2 custom tactics video for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like on it. Let's smash 200 likes and hit that subscribe button to my channel. Drop a comment down below as well. You see I do reply to every single comment. Thank you for watching. Remember, spread the love and positivity. PMA, positive man attitude. Peace out. One love.